On April 22, 2012, a Sunday, Officer Antonio Milo didn't really want to get up to go to church. He'd worked his shift patrolling the streets of central Denver into the early morning hours. But Officer Milo wanted to set a good example for his young son. So, off he went to the house of God. Toward the end of the service, the pastor called Antonio up to the altar.
God told me you're going to do something you've never had to do before. And you'll be brave, and you'll see it through, and you'll be okay.
A short time later, Antonio was summoned to hurry outside the church where someone had crashed their car. Unbeknownst to Antonio, the driver of the car had already shot and killed the first Good Samaritan who had rushed out to help.
So I get out and I go out the main entrance, which is over here. I'm, hurrying up my steps. I'm like reaching under my shirt because I carry my gun. And I'm like, is he pulling out a gun? So I pull mine out and I'm like, oh. Drop the weapon! Drop the weapon! And he turns and he fires a shot at me. And I hear it fly by and I'm like, and right before he fires his gun, I'm like, oh, is this really happening? Could have swore I felt something like nudge me, like, all right. Two to the chest, one to the head, which is part of our training. Drop the weapon! Drop the weapon! And I can hear the bullets flying down to meet him, and I hear the two shots hit him. And I see red, and he buckles back like this. I'm like, okay, I hit him. And so I start advancing toward him, and he just kind of comes back up, and he like in a full-out sprint running at me, firing. And I shoot again. And the same cycle keeps going on. Okay, look around for cover. There's no cover. There's no cars up here where you can get behind. He's backing up, and I'm backing up, and I see the front door I came out of, and I'm like, well, I don't want nobody coming out the door. So I open the door, and it's like total chaos. I hear screaming and crying, yelling in the back, and I'm just like, stay back, stay back. I'm like, okay, just run on by the door. I'll engage you away from here so nobody gets hurt. He stops and he opens the door, walks in. And I'm just like, all right, I gotta stop it now. And I rushed in and I grabbed the gun and I looked down and it's pointed at me. I'm like, ooh, that's not good. And no sooner than I moved to the side to get out the line of fire, he fires a shot. And it was like, it's a hole in my shirt. I looked at the shirt afterwards, it's like a hole right there in my shirt. And I get like nose to nose with him. And his like eyes just glazed over and he's like staring straight through me. Another shot's fired and finally he's down. And I'm like looking, I see blood all over me. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, all right, I'm okay.
Officer Antonio Milo's elation was short-lived. He'd saved 40-plus fellow churchgoers from being shot, but he quickly discovered that his aunt, Josephine Eccles, who'd raised him like a son, was dead. Josephine heard the car crash outside the church before anyone else, and when she rushed outside to help, she was senselessly gunned down.
I think that's admirable on her part. You know, I'm gonna be honest with you, it's a spot up here that's blank. Well, I got a Distinguished Service Medal. And it used to sit up here until I pinned it on her before we buried her, because she was my hero. So, yes.